My name is Matthew Caulfield, and I live in a small town called Cuyahoga Falls. I'm studying digital cinematography, and in this podcast, I'm going to be talking about a genre of film which I'm very fond of: zombie movies. From their history and creation, and how these hordes of undead have limped their ways into popular culture, using books, video games, and especially movies.
Zombies are coming.
The word zombie comes from Haitian folklore. It means spirit of the dead. In Haitian folklore, a zombie is someone who has annoyed his or her family and community to the degree that which they can no longer stand to live with this person. They respond by hiring a bokor, a voodoo priest who studies black magic, to turn the person into a zombie. The bokor would administer a poison called coup padre, which primary ingredient is a toxin from a poisonous porcupine fish. The poison would make the target's heart rate slow to a near stop, their breathing would greatly subdue, and their body temperature would decrease. They would be buried alive in this state, only to be brought back to the surface by the voodoo priest. Their physical appearance would remain intact, but their memory would be erased, and they were transformed into mindless drones. Hence, zombie. The first zombie film was a 1932 movie called White Zombie. The plot of the movie stayed true to the original word of the zombie. It was about a rich Haitian businessman who took it upon himself to win the hand of a lady by turning her husband into a zombie, a walking mindless corpse that did his master's bidding. Many of zombie films of the 30s and 40s stayed close to the Haitian folklore. Some were reanimated dead, while others were just people who had their minds wiped clear by some sort of master. The 1950s and the early 1960s was when the animated corpses started developing a taste for human flesh, but they still needed a master to bring them back to life, so to speak. Whether the master was a supernatural force, satanic incarnation, or a Haitian businessman, didn't matter. But the biggest reboot to the zombie, and also the entire horror genre, came in 1968. A filmmaker by the name of George Romero created a movie in which he transformed the way people were scared by movies and monsters. This incredible film was Night of the Living Dead. Even though colored pictures have been around for decades, Romero shot it in black and white to make it more eerie. In the late 1960s, America was numbed by the brutality and gruesome imagery that the Vietnam War brought. America no longer needed monsters to scare them, but Romero's zombies capitalized on fear from the war's death and destruction. For the first time, zombies were depicted in their modern form, a mix of zombie, werewolf, and vampire. They were neither alive nor dead, like a zombie. They devoured like werewolves, and you can contract their disease by a bite like a vampire. They had no powers other than being reanimated. The only way to stop a zombie is a bullet or a hard bash to the brain. In Night, Romero gave the first scientific reason for the Walking Dead: radiation from a crashed satellite. Their strength was in numbers, and the numbers they brought. Throughout the 70s and 80s, zombies were spreading. Romero zombies became the standard, the warm flesh-eating undead hordes we know today. Romero himself had a string of sequels to the Dead series: Dawn of the Dead in 1978, Day of the Dead in 1985, Land of the Dead in 2005, and then Diary of the Dead in 2007. Evil Dead 1 and 2 and Army of Darkness are a few of the zombie films that rely on blood, gore, and the dark humor. They star the movie icon Bruce Campbell. The 1990s weren't very kind to the zombie genre. However, the pandemic spread in the new millennium. This is due to graphic novels such as The Walking Dead and video games like Resident Evil. Resident Evil may have been released in 1996, but it was remade for the Nintendo GameCube in 2002, and which had great success. Even more mainstream games like Call of Duty have jumped on the zombie train, with a genre called Nazi Zombies. One of the installments of the game actually had George Romero as a featured zombie. The success of zombies can rival no other movie monsters. With the success of zombies on all forms of media, from comics to movies and even music, The Walking Dead will forever be embedded into pop culture.